is the African News Update on Top Accolade News. The headlines: Tanzania opposition leader appears in court. Gachagua alleges assassination plot by President Ruto. Parliament begins scrutiny of political parties' amendment bill. Zimbabwe's debt resolution in focus. We start with the focus in politics. Tanzania opposition leader appears in court. Tanzania's main opposition leader, Tundu Lissu, made his first court appearance on Monday since his arrest last month on treason charges, raising a defiant face and urging supporters not to fear. Tensions ran high in Dar es Salaam with heavy police presence, but hundreds of supporters gathered outside the courtroom. Lissu, who was arrested after calling for electoral reforms ahead of the October's vote, denies the charges, which include treason and spreading false information. His legal team challenged the ongoing delays of prosecution and criticized the trial's earlier attempt to proceed virtually. The case has drawn international attention, especially after several Kenyan dignitaries, including former Justice Minister Martha Karua, were deported for attempting to attend the trial. Critics say the crackdown signals a deeper erosion of democracy under President Samia Suluhu Hassan's administration. Still in politics, Gachagua alleges assassination plot by President Ruto. Kenya's former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has made explosive allegations of an assassination plot orchestrated by President William Ruto and top security agencies. In a dramatic statement on Monday, Gachagua claimed he received intelligence of a planned ambush during a church visit involving a 101-member combat unit drawn from elite police forces and allegedly overseen by the National Intelligence Service. He further alleged the use of biological weapons and plans to plant arms in a convoy to fabricate charges. Gachagua linking the threat to his criticism of past electoral violence and corruption, one that the campaign to silence him would fail, vowing to continue leading a growing political movement demanding reforms, justice, and accountable governance. Moving on in politics, Parliament begins scrutiny of political parties' amendment bill. Uganda's parliament has begun reviewing the Political Parties and Organizations Amendment Bill 2025, introduced by Napakuman MP Faith Nakut, aiming to reshape how political parties access public funds. The proposed law seeks to formalize two organs under the National Consultative Forum, the Inter-Party Organization for Dialogue and a Forum for Non-Represented Parties, while requiring political parties to uphold democratic principles such as tolerance and dialogue to qualify for government resources. The bill, now referred to the Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee, would also limit funding eligibility to parties that join IPOD in a move Nakut says is vital for fostering accountability, inclusivity, and democratic governance. Turning to economy, Zimbabwe's debt resolution in focus. The African Development Bank Group, in collaboration with the Zimbabwean government, will host a high-level side event on Monday, May 26th in Abidjan to accelerate Zimbabwe's arrears clearance and debt resolution process. Taking place during the bank's annual meetings, the session will gather key stakeholders, including AFDB President Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, former Mozambican President Joaquim Chissano, Zimbabwe Finance Minister Professor Ntuli Nkube, creditors, civil societies, and private sector leaders. The event aims to mobilize financial support and foster dialogue on governance and compensation issues as Zimbabwe seeks to resolve long-standing debt challenges. You're watching the African News Update on Top Accolade News. Do stay with us. Still to come. Thanks for staying with us. In international relations, Algeria slams France over visa policy shifts. Algeria's foreign ministry has strongly criticized France for what it's called a flagrant breach of a 2013 bilateral agreement that exempts diplomatic passport holders from visa requirements. The rebuke follows reports in French media suggesting a new visa requirement for Algerian diplomats, a move Alger says violates international norms and was communicated through unofficial leaks rather than formal channels. The Algerian government warned it will apply the principle of reciprocity, matching France's actions with equal diplomatic restrictions. Relations between the two countries have been tense, with recent strains rooted in political and security disagreements. Still in international relations, UN court rules in favor of Equatorial Guinea in island dispute with Gabon. In the International Court of Justice, judges have ruled in favor of Equatorial Guinea in a territorial dispute with neighboring Gabon over 3 oil-rich but largely uninhabited islands. The 15-judge panel determined that a 1900 colonial treaty between Spain and France remains the binding legal authority, rejecting a 1974 agreement claimed by Gabon as non-binding. The court noted Gabon failed to present an original copy of the later document, which Equatorial Guinea contested. The islands have been source of tension since oil was discovered nearby, and both nations, whose economies heavily depend on oil, had turned the UN court after diplomatic talks failed. Moving to entertainment, actress Jumoke George's missing daughter found in Mali. Adeola, the daughter of veteran Nigerian actress Jumoke George, who had been missing for 4 years, has been rescued and returned home from Mali, where she was trafficked. The rescue followed a public appeal by George on a podcast hosted by Biola Adebayo, who revealed that Adeola had vanished while seeking greener pastures abroad. The chairperson of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri Arewa, confirmed her return in a post on X, noting that Adeola was received in the company of Adebayo and actor Niyi Johnson. While the emotional reunion with her mother is yet to be confirmed, the case has reignited urgent conversations around human trafficking and youth migration. Now in sports, CAF and European Union announced sponsorship deal for AFCON. The Confederation of African Football has signed a groundbreaking sponsorship deal with the European Union, marking the first time the EU has backed a major African sports competition. Announced in Cairo, the agreement covers AFCON 2025, the 2027 edition, and the 2025 Women's AFCON and the African School Football Championship. CAF President Dr. Patrice Motsepe hailed the deal as a game changer for youth development, infrastructure, and diplomatic ties within Africa and Europe. With Total Energies already on board, the new EU partnership brings added financial muscle and global credibility to African football's biggest tournaments. That concludes our African news update for today. Stay tuned for more African news and developments. Thanks for joining us. I am Ojoromi Okocha. Connect and engage with us on all our social media handles. Do have a wonderful day.